Howdy doody, March 15th, 2023. What is going on, guys? Brandon Gentili here. We have your market update today, and as you know, things are a little bit on fire, a little bit crazy, a little bit like we've been talking about for 20 years now. So my biggest regret really is that I wasn't recording. I don't know how I really would have recorded, I guess, 20 years ago, but how it wasn't recording a lot of this and my thoughts just over the last 20 years. I would love to go back and be able to see these things. I recently just posted a video from like 6 years ago or 7 years ago of me doing whiteboard videos and talking about this very system that's imploding now and all the things I was learning then, and it's eerily reminiscent and similar to exactly what we talk about now and how I sound now. So either I really haven't learned much over the last 6-7 years, or I don't know what's going on, because it was very similar. But the United States bond market, the 10-year Treasury yield is cratering again, meaning people are flying to it to enslave themselves. I guess, a great act of war, I guess, is buying another country's bonds, is you're enslaving that population, because now they have to go to work to pay off those bonds. So that's a great act of war by China or whoever, even though they're not really buying our bonds here in America anymore, I guess. But they were doing it for a long time, where you can enslave the population. Because corporate bonds, that's fine, that's great. Hey, thanks for giving me the money. I'm going to go work my butt off and give you, I'm going to pay you back this bond and interest, this capital, the principal and interest with profit I made. A government, though, it's not a corporation, though. They can't make money. They don't provide value. It's not what government does. So you see where I'm going here. They make it off the backs of you and I. You're in the slave trade. It's, oh, great, thanks. Now we're going to go tax our citizens and your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids to pay back this bond and the interest you're owed. So this is why I'm not in favor of bonds. I can't morally do it. I just wrote an article recently, a month or two ago, in our Substack. Go check in the blog or the description of the blog. It said bonds will collapse. And I mean it. In the coming decades, once people understand the game that's being played on them, and they understand how Bitcoin completely destroys bonds, the bond market, it's gonna wreak havoc on everything. Obviously, that whole process. That's why insurance companies are already getting into Bitcoin and stuff like that. But that's kind of neither here nor there. But I just saw a video yesterday of Mike Maloney and George Gammon, and Mike Maloney literally lays out the case in like a 2-minute span, which I'll actually try to link in here. I clipped it out because I was like floored. My jaw hit the floor, because he said exactly what I've been thinking, and I've never heard anyone talk about this before anywhere. That bonds are literal enslavement. They are evil. It's immoral. You're literally just enslaving yourself, and you're guaranteeing taxation of yourself in the future. It makes no sense to me when you're buying a sovereign bond, a government bond. So I would love to know someone's comments on that, on how that I was thinking wrongly of that. And then I heard Mike Maloney, who's one of the GOATs of all time, one of my biggest mentors, literally lay that out in a 2-minute clip. And it just confirmed my narrative, my bias, which I was already thinking as well. And then to have one of my biggest mentors literally verbatim say exactly that, like a month after I wrote this article, which again, you can check on the blog, blows me away. So the 10-year, people are rushing out. People are scared, obviously, of what's going on in the banking sector. And the 10-year is, look at this. It was at 4, just like a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago. And now we're down to 3.46. What's crazy, though, is the 2-year. The 2-year is, look at that, like 100 basis point jump in like a day or 2 days. Guys, this is not supposed to happen. The return free, well, it's return-free risk now, but the reward return, what is it? I don't know what they call it now, but reward-free risk. That's what it is now. But it used to be, they call it return, risk-free return. But now it's anything but that. And this is the whole problem. This is why Bitcoin, it's hilarious when people say, well, Bitcoin should be, the government's approved it, or it's regulated, or, guys, money doesn't come from government. Money comes from the value creation between two people exchanging between each other. That's it. Just like your rights come from above, come from God, they don't come from government. If you wake up every day, do you have the government wipe your ass every single day? Like, hey, government, can you wipe my ass? Can I do it for myself? No. I don't ask the government what money I want to use. I'm not enslaved to them to the point that why would I be beholden to paying my taxes and using the money that another man can counterfeit. When Jerome Powell or Joe Biden or Donald Trump or whoever can just get up there, George Bush and Obama with TARP and everything, and just print currency out their ears, fractional reserve lending, commercial banks can do whatever they want, SVB, Signature Bank, they can do all these things, all these insane things, and they get bailed out and just, well, taxpayers are on the hook some way or another. And again, we're not going to get down this, people, oh, well, taxpayers on the hook. Yeah, they are. On down the line, you're on the hook somehow. Whether you're paying through inflation, whether you're paying through something, you're paying through more centralization of power, you are paying in one way or another. There's no free lunch. Economics are a closed circuit. So this is the whole bond enslavement issue. It's a closed circuit. Government is a closed circuit, and economics is a closed circuit. If you're in private enterprise, you can create more value, though. The pie can get bigger because you're creating, you're inventing, you're doing something, creative destruction. You're creating something new and creating value. That's different. But this is the crazy part about all of this, is that we continue to enslave ourselves, and we continue to just not understand that the government system is run by a few people. And the banking sector is run, it's so centralized and so top heavy that you have people stupidly thinking government controls my money and gives me my money. And thank you so much for giving me some money at the end of the day and not taxing me all of it. And I hope they approve Bitcoin, when you are the answer. You can do whatever you want. You can just start hoarding all the Bitcoin you want and transferring all your dirty fiat into actual real money, into Bitcoin, and start transacting right now. You can go buy groceries. You can go, this is all possible right now. You can go do it right now. People keep thinking, well, I can't do this. When I can do this and that, you can do it all right now. You can do whatever. Go figure it out. There's businesses everywhere doing it, using the Lightning Network on Bitcoin. This is being done everywhere, and it's only speeding up. And government doesn't dictate our lives. We dictate government. The government works with the consent of the people, period. Until we start understanding that, we will have more bank failures. We'll have people in centralized systems that have no control and wondering where their money went, wondering why we have more wokeness, wondering why we have less accountability, less responsibility. It's because we don't have any merit. There's no accountability. There's none. Until you have an equity-based system, a Bitcoin-based system, a Bitcoin standard, a gold standard doesn't work because it keeps getting centralized. I would love a gold standard. I would have loved that for thousands of years. But it doesn't work, unfortunately. I love me some gold and silver. But it doesn't work because it doesn't move over space easily. It moves over time, but it doesn't move over space. Bitcoin moves over time and space. That's where it solves that problem. That's the one big reason. So we have to get with the times, and we have to understand that these problems keep happening until we figure that out. So the bond market is just all over the place. It's not supposed to be moving and gyrating like this. It's all over the place, signaling that the Fed is going to have to start going their way and pivoting and dropping rates. And like we've been saying for a while, they're going to have to pivot. They're going to have to change what they're doing. And they're going to have to start dropping rates because they can't afford, they're going to break stuff, and they can't afford to service the debt. The $31.5 trillion in debt that we show here every day, you can't afford to service this at all if you have 5% interest rates. You think, this is at the old interest rates, $500 billion. It's going to be $1 trillion. It's going to be $1.5 trillion, $2 trillion in interest alone. And we only have $4.5 trillion in federal tax revenue. And that's going to be less this next year because people got crushed this past year. So there's not going to be as many tax receipts. So you think about this conundrum we're in. This interest is going to be up. So this deficit here is going to be massive. This is going to be 2 to 3 trillion probably in a year from now when we come back and look at this. So yeah, we're in absolute clown world. We're in absolute clown world, and we just keep, hey, we're just gonna keep doing it, keep bailing people out. It feels good in the short term, and keep screwing ourselves and our children and ourselves in the long term, and we're just gonna be enslaved forever. Because you know what? We don't want a little bit of pain right now. We can't handle it. We can't take it because we're effing babies. Crude oil getting crushed, absolutely getting crushed. Gold and silver up a significant amount. Gold's up in the 1900s, and silver is up again, almost touching 22. So again, the commodities up a bit, except crude. Crude has been getting hammered the last few days. And then the DXY. So sorry, the DXY touched 104. What is that? 104, 105 a couple days ago, but then dropped all the way down, obviously, and then into the 103s, and then 104 today. So up above 104 today. So kind of back up a little bit. People are rushing out of some of these other assets and into the dollar as well. So they've been buying up some bonds, buying up the dollar, and just because people, like I say here, the dollar index surged over 1% to around 105 on Wednesday. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. It's already 104, but it touched 105 today. That's what I was had in my mind. Amid mounting risk aversion and flight to safety after Credit Suisse, which we haven't even talked about. We're not going to talk about that right now, but the European banking crisis now cascading. I mean, this is just insane. And we've done Credit Suisse videos. We just did them the other day. Blackstone. Where's Elizabeth Warren here? Where's Elizabeth Warren talking about Credit Suisse and Blackstone, and then gating these funds? It's a clown world. But she's over here yapping about crypto. I mean, the lady is just a con artist. All these politicians are con artists. Credit Suisse's top shareholder said, yeah, they're not going to do anything, so their shares kept crashing. Yeah, so this is absolute clown world. Bitcoin's still holding strong. 24,500 is up to 26. Now it's just sitting around 24,500, and people are going to be shocked. People are going to be very, very shocked when they see what is truly going on. Stock's been hit a bit, obviously, over the last few days, but people are going to be very shocked when they see Bitcoin just begin to really decouple over time here. What do you think is going to happen when we see, like this, for instance, when we see Bitcoin, I mean, it's up to 12 on the asset list right here. But what happens when it gets up to 8, up to 5, above silver, up to 3, top 3, and then it's eventually is above gold? I mean, then you have people you can't ignore it. You're not going to be able to ignore everything we talk about all the time. It's going to be the future. It's going to be everything. It's going to be the asset, the collateral. It's going to be everything, and then it becomes a medium of exchange and that unit of account over time as it becomes that store of value, and people see. Because, again, at the end of the day, in wrapping with this, we just saw, let's see if Bitcoin's working, right? We want to see if Bitcoin's working. Because, again, we just had, you know what's working? Bitcoin. Oh, weird. Bitcoin's working. You know what's not working? The banks. Banks aren't working. Signature Bank, First Republic, Credit Suisse, Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate. You name it. Let's keep going down the list. So this is going to continue happening. So we keep putting our faith in this system that we think can be propped up and bailed out, but it's on our backs through more inflation, so we pay higher and higher prices to enrich a few people at the top. So we're going to keep going with that system instead of taking our time and energy out and putting it in a new system that gives us the purchasing power back, that gives us the robustness, that gives us the decentralization and the immutability, the no censorship, nothing. And it runs because there's millions of nodes and miners and computers running this network, and one person can't shut it out. There's no bank runs. There's nothing going on. We've been through all this. All the objections have been squashed. Do the homework. Do the research. Do DYOR. Do your own research and put yourself in the position of power. This is the future. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. This is common sense advice. So I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. We are in times that try men's souls. We truly are. And building community, buying gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, land, firearms, security, food, ammo, water, filtration, everything, and building community is the number one thing. So please share this out. Algorithm hates truth. Algorithm hates freedom. Algorithm hates anything that has to do with common sense and reality. So I appreciate you sharing this out because it's the only way. I don't want us to get kicked in the face. Humans learn 2 ways. They get kicked in the face or they get educated. I want us to go the education route. And the only way we do that is to spread the people that are out talking about this. I know not everyone loves talking about this and putting themselves out there. So the people that are doing that, whoever you're watching, whoever you're reading, listening to, please put them out there. Please share it out there. People that friends, family members, people you think might need to hear it. Because I have 4 children. I don't want this to go the way of Biff Tannen's Pleasure Paradise and Back to the Future 2. I really don't want that. So I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Bitcoin is time, and time is Bitcoin. And again, I want you to question everything with boldness. Please, I shared in the last video a bunch of books I'm reading. Please, please, please. Please go. My Magnificat, obviously. You got to stay right with the big guy. The Conspirators Hierarchy. Naked Communist. Understand where we're coming from. Understand who's leading us. Understand the game that's being played. Please. This is going to get us much farther in life. Following the money. Not following the science. Following the money. Right? Understand why this guy's been canceled so much. The grand chessboard. Understand the game the elites are playing. The collectivists are playing. I don't believe everything in every single book. Like, The Trap. This guy is out there. But he's been more right than wrong. Why has he been canceled so much? We need to know those things. In books like this, Jared Diamond, Collapse, Guns, Germs, and Steel, some classics. we understand where we're coming from, we can understand where we're going and what we need to do to prepare. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.